My name is Samantha Stevens. I'm 27 years old. 48 hours ago, I was supposed to walk down the aisle at the Bradford estate in front of 350 guests. A $220,000 wedding my fiancé's family mostly paid for. Instead, I woke up to 63 missed calls, 12 voicemails, and one text from my mother that said, "Where is she?" Not "Are you okay?" Not "I'm sorry." Just, "Where is your sister?" Because the night before my wedding, I found my fiancé, James, in the estate's garden gazebo with my twin sister, Eleanor, his hand on her face, her lipstick on his collar, both of them laughing like I didn't exist. When I confronted them, when I called the whole wedding off, do you know what my parents said? "You're being dramatic, Samantha. Think of the family." My future mother-in-law didn't even try to hide it. She said, "Eleanor is more suitable anyway." They chose them, all of them, until Eleanor vanished 6 hours before the ceremony, and suddenly, I was needed again. Let me tell you exactly how we got here, and why I'm never going back. I met James Bradford during our senior year at UNC Chapel Hill. He was business school. I was marketing. We bonded over late-night study sessions at Davis Library and a shared addiction to mediocre dining hall coffee. 4 years ago, when he asked me to dinner at Fig Tree Restaurant in Charlotte, I thought I was just getting a free meal. Instead, I got a relationship. James was steady, reliable, the kind of guy who remembered your coffee order and never forgot an anniversary. His family owned Bradford Construction, a $15 million revenue company his great-grandfather started in 1952. The Bradford estate, where we were supposed to get married, was 12 acres of manicured gardens and plantation-style architecture built in 1887. They'd turned part of it into an event venue that pulled in $800,000 a year. When James proposed after 3.5 years together, both our families were thrilled. Not because we were in love, though we were, I think, but because we made sense. I was a marketing director at a tech startup. Practical, stable. I understood the value of legacy. At our engagement party last September, his mother Catherine pulled me aside in the estate's sunroom. She held a champagne flute in one hand and my wrist in the other. "Samantha, dear," she said, her smile tight and perfect. "You're exactly what this family needs. Stable, practical, and you understand the value of legacy." I smiled back, thanked her. Didn't realize until months later that what she really meant was, "You won't outshine us." But there was always one person Catherine's eyes lingered on longer than me. My twin sister Eleanor. Eleanor and I are twins, fraternal. I was born 8 minutes before her, which makes me the older sister, a fact that has never, ever mattered to anyone. Where I'm quiet, Eleanor is charismatic. Where I'm careful, she's spontaneous. Where I blend into the background at family dinners, Eleanor lights up every room she enters. She was Miss Charlotte 2021. She has 85,000 Instagram followers. She volunteers at charity galas and posts photos with local politicians and gets brand deals worth $3,000 to $5,000 a month for posting about skincare and wine. Everyone loves Eleanor, including my parents. Growing up, I was the one who got straight A's, who never missed curfew, who helped Dad with his taxes, and reminded Mom about doctor's appointments. Eleanor was the one who forgot to do her homework, but charmed the teacher into an extension. Who showed up 2 hours late to Christmas dinner, but brought homemade cookies and made everyone laugh. I was dependable. Eleanor was delightful. Guess which one gets more love? At Christmas 2 years ago, my dad raised his glass during dinner and said, "Ellie just lights up a room, doesn't she? Samantha, you should smile more like your sister." I smiled. I always smiled. Looking back, I should have noticed how often James's laugh got louder when Eleanor walked into a room, how his eyes followed her when she moved, how he always found an excuse to stand next to her in family photos. But I didn't. Because you don't expect the person you love to want your replacement, especially when that replacement is your own blood. James proposed in November. We set the wedding date for May 31st, a Saturday, late spring, perfect weather. We booked the Bradford estate because of course we did. Family legacy, keeping appearances. The budget was $220,000. The Bradfords were paying $170,000. My parents contributed $50,000. We invited 350 guests, 35 tables of 10, a string quartet for the ceremony, a 12-piece band for the reception, flowers shipped in from Ecuador, a $12,000 Vera Wang dress. It should have been my dream wedding. Instead, it became Eleanor's audition. She came to 14 of my 16 dress appointments. At the first one, I found a gown I loved, lace sleeves, fitted bodice, cathedral train. I felt beautiful. Eleanor tilted her head. Sam, are you sure about the lace? I think you'd look better in something simpler. More you, you know. The seamstress nodded along. She has a point. With your frame, something more understated might be better. I bought a different dress, simpler, more understated, more Eleanor's taste. She came to 6 venue meetings. Out of 6, 4 of her suggestions were chosen over mine. The centerpiece flowers? Eleanor's pick. The menu? Eleanor vetted it. The signature cocktail? Eleanor said my choice was too sweet and suggested a French 75 instead. Catherine loved her input. Eleanor has such taste, she'd say, squeezing Eleanor's hand. Samantha, aren't you lucky to have a sister who cares so much? I was lucky. So lucky. 2 weeks before the wedding, Catherine called me. Samantha, darling, I need to talk to you about the bridal suite. The bridal suite was where I was supposed to get ready the morning of the wedding. It was the estate's largest guest room, vintage chandelier, clawfoot tub, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the gardens. I've been thinking, Catherine said, and it would make more sense for Eleanor to use the bridal suite for getting ready photos. She photographs so well. You understand, don't you? We can put you in the garden suite. It's lovely, just a bit smaller. I said yes. I always said yes. That same week, I found a group text I wasn't included in. The chat name was Eleanor's Surprise for Sam's Big Day. The members were Catherine, my mother, and the wedding planner. I never found out what the surprise was. The week before the wedding, everything accelerated. Final payments were due. I transferred $38,000 from my savings account on Monday, the last chunk of money I owed vendors. My checking account balance after the transfer, $4,200. James seemed distracted. We were supposed to have a date night Thursday, our last one before becoming husband and wife. He canceled at 6 p.m. Babe, I'm sorry, he said over the phone. There's a venue emergency. Mom needs help with some last-minute setup. Eleanor's actually coming to help since she knows the estate layout so well. I could help, I offered. No, you've been stressed. Relax. I'll see you tomorrow at the rehearsal. That night, I drove past the Bradford estate at 9 p.m. Eleanor's car was in the parking lot. So was James's. The lights were on in the estate's main office. I didn't stop. I told myself I was being paranoid. Wedding stress. Cold feet. Normal. Friday morning, the day before the wedding, Eleanor texted me. Can't wait to stand beside you tomorrow, sissy. It's going to be unforgettable. She was right. Just not the way she thought. The rehearsal started at 7 p.m. sharp. 68 guests, immediate family, the wedding party, and out-of-town guests who'd flown in early, filled the estate's grand ballroom. White roses everywhere, candles flickering on every surface. A preview of tomorrow's ceremony. I stood at the back of the aisle in jeans and a blouse, holding a bouquet of fake flowers the wedding planner handed me. James waited at the altar in khakis and a button-down, grinning. We walked through the processional. Bridesmaids first, then Eleanor, my maid of honor, in a blush pink dress that somehow looked more bridal than my rehearsal outfit. She walked slowly, gracefully, smiling at guests like she was the one getting married. When it was my turn, I walked down the aisle. James's eyes were on me, but when I reached him, I caught him glancing past my shoulder. At Eleanor. The minister, a family friend of the Bradfords, walked us through the vows. Do you, James, take Samantha? He stumbled, paused. Sorry, do you, James, take this woman? Eleanor giggled. Catherine shot her a look, but she was smiling. The rehearsal took 35 minutes. By 8:12 p.m., we were done. James's phone buzzed. He pulled it out, glanced at the screen, and went pale. Sorry, he muttered. I need to check on the sound system. He walked out. I watched him go. Told myself it was fine. Groom jitters, normal. Rehearsal dinner was seated service. Filet mignon or pan-seared salmon, roasted vegetables, a champagne toast. 68 guests at 8 tables. I sat at table 1, the family head table. My parents on one side, James's parents on the other. Eleanor next to Catherine, who kept touching her arm and laughing at everything she said. James's seat next to mine was empty. Appetizers arrived at 8:20 p.m. James still wasn't back. At 8:45 p.m., I realized Eleanor was gone too. I leaned toward my mother. Have you seen Ellie? She went to check the bridal suite setup, Mom said, not looking up from her phone. Make sure everything's perfect for tomorrow. 40 minutes. Both of them gone for 40 minutes. Main course arrived at 9 p.m. Still no James. Still no Eleanor. At 9:30 p.m., the best man, James's college roommate, stood to give a toast. He was already drunk. To James, he slurred, raising his glass. A man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to go after it. And to Samantha, well, you're a lucky woman. Awkward laughter rippled through the room. I checked my phone. 9:35 p.m. James had been gone for 1 hour and 23 minutes. At 9:50 p.m., I couldn't take it anymore. I stood. My mother grabbed my wrist under the table. Samantha, sit down. You're making a scene. I pulled away. I need to find James. He's handling vendor issues. Let him work. I walked out of the ballroom. No one followed me. The garden gazebo was 180 feet across the back lawn. I knew because James and I had walked it during our engagement photo shoot. The photographer said it was the most romantic spot on the property. Perfect view, perfect privacy. I walked across the grass in my flats, the May night air warm against my skin. I could hear laughter from the gazebo before I could see it. James's laugh. Eleanor's laugh. I stepped into the clearing. James was sitting on the gazebo bench. Eleanor was next to him, close enough that their knees touched. His hand was on her face, tilting her chin up. Her lipstick, red velvet number 42, the shade she'd given me for Christmas and said we should match, was smeared on his collar. They were laughing, smiling, intimate, like I didn't exist. I checked my phone to steady my hands. 10:15 p.m. I stepped into the gazebo light. Eleanor saw me first. For half a second, her eyes widened. Then she smiled, that pageant smile, all teeth and warmth. Samantha, she said brightly, standing. We were just talking about tomorrow. Isn't it exciting? James turned, saw me, froze. I stared at the lipstick on his collar, the same shade I was supposed to wear tomorrow. Talking, I repeated. Sam, James started, with her lipstick on your shirt. Eleanor laughed, light and easy. Oh, that. I was fixing his collar and got some on him by accident. You know how clumsy I am. Your hand was on her face, I said. It wasn't. James stood. Sam, you're misunderstanding. Then explain it to me. My voice was calm, too calm. Explain why you've been gone for 2 hours. Explain why you're sitting here in the dark with my sister. We were discussing tomorrow, Eleanor said. The surprise we planned for you. We didn't want to ruin it. What surprise? Eleanor glanced at James. James looked at the ground. James, I said. What surprise? There's no surprise, he muttered. Eleanor's smile faltered. I pulled out my phone. I'm calling off the wedding. James lunged forward, grabbed my wrist. Sam, wait, please, it's not what it looks like. Then what is it? It's, He looked at Eleanor. It's complicated. I yanked my arm free. It's not complicated. You're cheating on me, with my sister, the night before our wedding. Eleanor started crying. Real tears, not pageant tears. You're ruining everything, she whispered. I'm ruining everything? I stared at her. Ellie, what the hell is going on? Nothing. She wiped her eyes. God, Samantha, you always do this. You always assume the worst. We were just talking and you twisted into something ugly because you can't stand that people like me better than you. The words hit like a slap. James didn't defend me. At 10:28 p.m., footsteps crunched on the gravel path. Catherine Bradford appeared, her face tight. What is going on out here? She demanded. Samantha, why are you shouting? I found James with Eleanor, I said. I'm calling off the wedding. Catherine's eyes went wide. Not shocked wide, annoyed wide. You will do no such thing, she said. This is pre-wedding jitters. James, Eleanor, go inside. Samantha, we need to talk. There's nothing to talk about, I said. It's over. Over? Catherine stepped closer. Do you have any idea what you're throwing away? The deposits? The guests flying in tomorrow morning? Your father's business relationship with Thomas? Eleanor would never be this selfish. There it was. Eleanor would never. If Eleanor's so perfect, I said, she can marry him. I turned and walked back toward the ballroom. Catherine called after me. If you cancel this wedding, you're on your own. The Bradfords don't tolerate drama. I didn't look back. I walked back into the grand ballroom at 10:47 p.m. 68 faces turned toward me. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. I walked to the center of the room. I apologize for the disruption, I said. My voice was steady, clear. The wedding tomorrow is canceled. Thank you for coming. Silence. Then chaos. My mother stood. Samantha Marie Stevens, what have you done? My father pulled me to a corner. His face was red. Do you have any idea the embarrassment you've just caused? I caught James cheating, I said. With who? Eleanor. He laughed, actually laughed. Eleanor? Your sister? Samantha, that's absurd. I saw them. You saw them talking. You're being paranoid. Thomas Bradford, James's father, appeared next to us. He was a tall man, silver-haired, built like someone who'd worked construction for 40 years before owning the company. Young lady, he said, his voice low and dangerous. We have $154,000 in non-refundable deposits. If you're canceling over cold feet, your family will be hearing from our attorneys. I'm not canceling over cold feet, I said. I'm canceling because your son is in love with someone else. That's a serious accusation. It's the truth. He leaned in close. The truth is, you just humiliated 2 families in front of 70 people. I hope it was worth it. I looked around the room. James stood near the bar, pale and silent. Eleanor was crying into Catherine's shoulder. My parents looked at me like I'd committed a crime. Not one person asked if I was okay. At 11:15 p.m., I walked out of the Bradford estate. I drove the 10 minutes to my parents' house in silence. At 11:30 p.m., I walked through the front door. My father was already on the phone. My mother was sitting on the couch when I walked in. She didn't look up. Pack a bag, she said. What? Your father is on the phone with Thomas Bradford. They're trying to salvage this. The least you can do is give us space. Salvage what? The wedding is off. She finally looked at me. Her eyes were red. Samantha, I don't know what you think you saw, but Eleanor would never do what you're accusing her of. She loves you. I saw them, Mom. His hand was on her face. Her lipstick was on his collar. You saw them talking. You panicked. It's understandable. Weddings are stressful. But you cannot destroy 2 families over a misunderstanding. It wasn't a misunderstanding. My father hung up the phone. He walked into the living room, his jaw tight. You will call James right now, he said, and you will fix this. I have business deals with Thomas Bradford worth $2.3 million. You will not destroy that because you're insecure about your sister. Insecure? I stared at him. Dad, I'm not insecure. I caught them together. Eleanor would never, my mother said again. It was becoming a mantra. Eleanor would never. Then she can have him, I said. I'm done. My father stepped closer. If you walk out that door, you are not my daughter. I looked at him, at my mother, at the home I grew up in. Okay, I said. I went upstairs, packed a bag in 8 minutes. Jeans, shirts, toiletries, my laptop, chargers, the essentials. When I came back downstairs, my father was on the phone again. He covered the receiver. Where do you think you're going? Hotel. Don't bother coming back. I walked out the door at 12:15 a.m. As I pulled out of the driveway, I heard him on the phone. Tom, I'm calling a locksmith. She won't be a problem anymore. At 12:40 a.m., I watched from my car parked down the street as a locksmith's van pulled up to my childhood home. At 1:23 a.m., the locksmith left. I was officially locked out. At 1:45 a.m., I checked into a Holiday Inn Express off I-77. Room 314, $89 a night, the cheapest room I'd ever paid for. It felt like freedom. I couldn't sleep. At 2:14 a.m., my phone buzzed. You have been removed from Stephen's family. The group chat, the one we'd had for 5 years, Sunday dinners, holiday plans, mom's grocery lists, dad's bad jokes. I could still see messages for a few hours, some glitch in the settings. I watched them plan my destruction in real time. Mom, 2:22 a.m. Eleanor is devastated. Samantha accused her of something terrible. We're working with the Bradfords on next steps. Aunt Margaret. What happened? Dad, 2:35 a.m. Samantha canceled the wedding over nothing. Pre-wedding psychosis. We're considering intervention. Catherine Bradford, 3:10 a.m. Thomas and I discussed with James. If Eleanor is willing, we'd like to move forward with a modified plan. The vendors are paid. The guests are coming. Perhaps this is a blessing in disguise. Mom. What do you mean, Catherine? Catherine. Eleanor is everything we hoped for in a daughter-in-law, and she's clearly in love with James. Why waste a perfect day? My stomach turned. Mom, 3:45 a.m. Let me talk to Eleanor. At 5:47 a.m., the last message I saw before being fully blocked came through. Eleanor. I'll do it, for the family. James deserves happiness. They were going to replace me. At my own wedding, in 13 hours. I woke up at 6:15 a.m. to my phone ringing. I didn't recognize the number. I answered. Samantha, hi, it's Monica. Your wedding planner? Hi, I said, my voice hoarse. I just got off the phone with Catherine Bradford. She said there's been a change of plans and asked if Eleanor can fit into your dress or if we need emergency alterations. The ceremony is still at 2 p.m. I sat up. What? She said Eleanor is stepping in? I'm confused, but I need to know about the dress because if alterations are needed, I have to call the seamstress now. Eleanor is stepping in, I repeated. As the bride. Yes. Is that correct? I hung up. At 6:30 a.m., Catherine called. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. Samantha, this is Catherine. I need you to return the Vera Wang gown and the engagement ring by noon. They're Bradford family property. Failure to comply will result in legal action. The dress cost $12,000. The ring was $8,500. At 7 a.m., Thomas Bradford left a voicemail. Miss Stevens, this is Thomas Bradford. You have until noon to return the gown, the ring, and sign a liability waiver. Failure to comply will result in immediate legal action for theft and breach of contract. We expect your cooperation. At 9:20 a.m., my mother texted, Samantha, whatever your issues, don't punish Eleanor. She's doing the family a favor by stepping in. The least you can do is return the dress. I stared at the text. doing the family a favor. At 10:55 a.m., I walked into a lawyer's office. Emergency Saturday appointment. Her name was Patricia Morgan. She was 53, sharp-eyed, and had handled family law for 19 years. I showed her everything: the texts, the voicemails, the group chat screenshots I'd taken before being blocked. She read in silence. Finally, she looked up. "Ms. Stevens," she said, "I've practiced family law for 19 years. I've never seen anything like this. They're treating you like low inventory." "Can they sue me for the deposits?" I asked. "They can try. They won't win. You didn't breach a vendor contract. You ended a personal relationship. But I'm more concerned about this." She tapped my phone. 63 calls in 4 hours? That's harassment. 63? She counted. From 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., 63 missed calls from various numbers. I hadn't even noticed. "Can they sue me for not returning the dress and ring?" "Conditional gifts," Patricia said. "When an engagement ends, the gifts are no longer valid. The ring goes back in most states, but the dress? That's yours. You bought it. But Samantha, I need you to listen to me. Block every number. Create a new email. These people are dangerous." At 2:07 p.m., 7 minutes after my ceremony was supposed to start, my phone buzzed. A text from Eleanor's number. "I can't do this. I'm sorry. I'm leaving." Then, nothing. At 6:08 p.m. Saturday, Catherine Bradford posted on Facebook. I saw it because my cousin Rachel sent me a screenshot. The post showed a photo of the empty ceremony space, white chairs, altar, no bride, no groom. The caption: "With heavy hearts, the Bradford and Stevens families announced the postponement of today's celebration due to unforeseen circumstances. We ask for privacy during this difficult time. Thank you to all who traveled to be with us." Within an hour, 140 comments. What happened? I heard the bride had a meltdown. Someone told me she got jealous of her own sister. Poor James, he deserves better. The Bradfords are such a classy family to handle this with grace. Not one comment mentioned me by name, but everyone knew. I was the villain. Sunday morning, my phone rang. My boss, Jennifer. "Samantha, I need you to come in Monday morning. 9:30, my office." "What's wrong?" "We'll talk Monday." She hung up. Monday morning, Jennifer pulled me into her office at 9:30 a.m. sharp. She slid a printed email across the desk. "Samantha," she said gently, "I need to hear your side, because if what they're saying is true, we have a problem." I read the email. Subject: Concern regarding employee conduct, to whom it may concern. We are writing to express concern about employee Samantha Stevens. Over the weekend, Ms. Stevens exhibited erratic and unstable behavior, canceling her wedding without cause and making unfounded accusations against family members. We believe this may affect her professional judgment and reliability. Please consider this a courtesy warning from concerned community members. It was sent from a throwaway Gmail account. Sent at 8:30 a.m. Monday. "Who sent this?" I asked. "I don't know. But Samantha, I need the truth. What happened this weekend?" I told her everything. The gazebo, Eleanor, James, my parents locking me out, the bride swap plan. When I finished, Jennifer exhaled. "Jesus Christ," she said. "Samantha, I've known you for 3 years. You're the most level-headed person on my team. I don't believe you had a breakdown." "Thank you. HR is filing a formal complaint about this email, and off the record, lawyer up. These people are dangerous." At 5:23 p.m. Monday, a process server arrived at my office. I signed for a thick manila envelope. Inside, a demand letter from Bradford family attorneys. The letter was 8 pages. Single-spaced. Legal letterhead. It broke down every dollar. Venue rental, $58,000. Catering, $42,000. Flowers, $18,000. Photography, $15,000. Band, $12,000. Miscellaneous, $9,000. Total, $154,000. The demand was simple. On behalf of the Bradford family and associated parties, this firm demands immediate remittance of $154,000 in non-refundable wedding expenses incurred due to your unilateral and irrational cancellation of the May 31st wedding ceremony. Additionally, we reserve the right to pursue damages for reputational harm to Bradford Construction, LLC, and emotional distress to Mr. James Bradford. Payment due by June 30th, 2025. Failure to comply will result in civil litigation. I called Patricia. She read the letter over the phone. Don't pay a cent, she said. This letter is designed to scare you. It has no legal standing. But Samantha? Block every number. Change your email. Because once they realize the lawsuit won't work, they're going to escalate. I spent Tuesday blocking numbers, 22 in total. I created a new email address. I changed my social media to private. For 4 days, I had peace. I started therapy. Dr. Rachel Wright. Tuesdays and Thursdays. $180 a session. Insurance covered $60. At my first session Thursday evening, she asked me to describe my family. I told her about Eleanor, about my parents, about always being the responsible one. Dr. Wright leaned back in her chair. Samantha, she said, what you're describing is a trauma response. Your family scapegoated you to preserve their own comfort. That's not love. That's dysfunction. But they're my family. Shouldn't I try to fix it? At what cost? You've already paid too much. Friday evening, I ordered Thai food, poured wine, watched Netflix. At 11:43 p.m., my doorbell rang. I checked the peephole. James was standing there holding flowers. Backtracking, what happened at the wedding, Saturday, May 31st. I didn't learn what happened at the wedding until weeks later, when enough people talked that I pieced it together. 350 guests arrived between 1:30 p.m. and 2:15 p.m. The ceremony was supposed to start at 2 p.m. At 2 p.m., there was no bride. At 2:15 p.m., Catherine announced a delay. At 2:30 p.m., Eleanor was supposed to walk down the aisle, but Eleanor never came out of the bridal suite. At 1:45 p.m., she locked herself in the bathroom. Catherine and my mother tried to coax her out, gentle at first, then desperate. Eleanor, sweetheart, everyone's waiting. Ellie, you said you'd do this. For the family. Eleanor Marie Stevens, open this door right now. At 2:35 p.m., Catherine noticed the bathroom window was open. Eleanor had climbed out. By 3:15 p.m., her car was found at Charlotte Douglas Airport, long-term parking, Lot B, space 324. Security footage showed her boarding a flight at 11:52 p.m. Friday night. Destination, Barcelona. One-way ticket, $1,240. She left a note. Not for the family, for James. It was found at 3:15 p.m., tucked under the $12,000 Vera Wang dress she never put on. I can't be her replacement. I'm sorry. I'm not that cruel. Sunday morning, I woke up in my Holiday Inn room to my phone exploding. 63 missed calls by 10 a.m., 12 voicemails, 35 text messages. I listened to the voicemails in order. Voicemail number 1. Mom, 6:15 a.m. Samantha, please call me. Voicemail number 2. Mom, 6:28 a.m. Samantha, this is serious. Call me back. Voicemail number 3. Catherine, 6:32 a.m. Samantha, this is Catherine. We need you to call us back. Eleanor is missing. She was supposed to. We can't find her. Please, call me. Voicemail number 5. Mom, 6:51 a.m. Samantha, I know we said things, but Eleanor is gone. Her car is at the airport. We don't know where she went. Please, sweetheart, call me back. Voicemail number 8. James, 7:28 a.m. Sam, it's James. Fuck. I know I don't deserve this, but Eleanor's gone and everyone's freaking out and I need to talk to you, please. The text escalated. Mom, 6:15 a.m. Samantha, please call me. Mom, 6:42 a.m. Eleanor is missing. We need your help. Catherine, 7:05 a.m. Samantha, I'm begging you, please call. Eleanor left. We have 350 guests here. We need to make a decision. Dad, 7:38 a.m. Samantha, this is serious. Call your mother now. Mom, 8:23 a.m. Sweetie, I know we hurt you. Please, we made a mistake. Come home. Catherine, 9:10 a.m. If you had just gone through with the wedding, none of this would have happened. This is on you. There it was. Still my fault. At 9:47 a.m., my mother left voicemail number 12. Her voice was raw, breaking. Samantha, please, we need you. We were wrong. So wrong. Please come home. I listened to it 3 times. Then I saved it, and I went back to sleep. At 2:14 p.m. Sunday, Eleanor posted on Instagram. She hadn't blocked me. The photo showed her in front of the Sagrada Familia, sunset, hair loose, peaceful. The caption, "Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from the life everyone wants you to live. I'm sorry to those I've hurt, but I'm done being someone I'm not. Hashtag new beginnings, hashtag Barcelona, hashtag choose yourself." Within 30 minutes, 850 likes, 230 comments. Ellie, are you okay? Girl, what happened to the wedding? Your family is looking for you. Iconic behavior, honestly. But what about James? Not one comment mentioned me. Not one. Eleanor got to be the brave one walking away. I got to be the villain who ruined everything. And somehow I was supposed to fix it. At 4:30 p.m. Sunday, my mother found me. The hotel lobby, Holiday Inn Express, I-77. She was crying. Samantha, baby, please, I'm so sorry. I stood. How did you find me? Your father tracked your phone. Family plan. Of course he did. Mom, I can't do this right now. Please, just listen. We were wrong. So wrong. We were worried about appearances, about the Bradfords, about not losing Eleanor's light, and we forgot you. We forgot our daughter. You didn't forget me, Mom. You chose them. You chose a wedding over your daughter. We made a mistake. People make mistakes. Eleanor is gone and everyone's asking questions and the Bradfords are threatening to sue us now and I stopped her. So you're here because Eleanor left. Not because of what you did to me. She blinked. That's not... Samantha, please. Come home. We'll fix this together. There's nothing to fix, Mom. You made your choice. Now live with it. I walked out. At 5:15 p.m., I checked out of the Holiday Inn. At 5:45 p.m., I checked into a residence inn 20 miles away. Paid cash. As I was signing the register, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Against my better judgment, I opened it. Samantha, it's James. Please don't block this number. I need to see you. I'll be at your apartment tomorrow at 6 p.m. Please be there. I'm sorry isn't enough, but it's all I have left. I blocked the number. I went back to my apartment Monday afternoon. I'd been avoiding it, still felt like a place where the old version of me lived. At 6 p.m. exactly, my doorbell rang. I checked the peephole. James, holding a massive flower arrangement. Roses, peonies, lilies. Easily $300 worth. I didn't open the door. Sam, he called through the door. Please, I know I don't deserve it, but I need you to hear me. Go away, James. I made a terrible mistake. Eleanor was... It was ego. It was stupidity. You're the one I want. You're the one I've always wanted. James, go away or I'm calling the police. I love you. I've loved you for 4 years. One mistake doesn't erase that. One mistake? I leaned against the door. You were planning to marry my sister at our wedding. That's not a mistake. That's a plan. That was my mother's insane idea. I never agreed to it. I told her it was crazy. But you didn't tell me. You didn't defend me. You let them replace me like I was furniture. Silence. Then, just keep the flowers. Remember when we were happy. He left them in the hallway. At 7:30 p.m., I donated them to St. Luke's Hospital. The tax-deductible receipt said $340. At 8:30 p.m., my apartment lobby buzzer rang. The doorman's voice crackled through the intercom. Ms. Stevens, there's a Catherine Bradford here to see you. Should I send her up? No. She's insisting. Tell her no. Catherine waited in my lobby for 2 hours. I watched her on the building's security camera feed from my apartment. She paced, checked her phone. At one point, she pulled cash out of her wallet and tried to hand it to the doorman. He refused. At 10:30 p.m., she left. She left a letter with the doorman, handwritten, on Bradford Estate stationery. Samantha, I know you have every right to hate us, but I need you to understand. I was protecting my son. A mother's instinct is to shield her child from pain. I thought if Eleanor was willing, it would be less painful for James than canceling entirely. I see now how cruel that was to you. You deserved better. You deserved to be chosen. Please, let us make this right. The Bradfords always honor their debts. Catherine. I read it once, filed it in my evidence folder, went to bed. Tuesday morning, I had court at 2 p.m. Patricia had filed for a restraining order. At 11 a.m., my office receptionist called my desk. Samantha, there's a James Bradford here. He says he's your fiancé and needs to speak with you urgently. Tell him I'm not available and he needs to leave. 5 minutes later, she called again. He's refusing to leave. Should I call security? Yes. Jennifer, my boss, came to my desk 3 minutes later. Samantha, there's a situation in the lobby. Come with me. We went downstairs. James was standing at the reception desk, suit and tie, holding a folder. When he saw me, he stepped forward. Sam, please. I just need 5 minutes. Jennifer stepped between us. Mr. Bradford, Ms. Stevens has made it clear she doesn't wish to speak with you. You need to leave immediately or we'll call the police. I just need 5 minutes. Please, this is important. Sir, you're trespassing. Leave now. I'm not trying to cause trouble. Security arrived. 2 officers. Sir, you need to leave the building. James looked at me. Sam, please. I didn't answer. They escorted him out at 11:25 a.m. HR filed an incident report. Document number HR-2025-0614. At 1:30 p.m., I was walking to my car to drive to the courthouse when my phone rang. Unknown number, I answered. Samantha, if you go through with this restraining order, you will regret it. My father's voice. Cold. You're destroying 2 families. Is that what you want your legacy to be? I hung up. The courthouse was cold. Fluorescent lights, linoleum floors. Patricia met me outside courtroom 3B. They're all here, she said. All 4 of them. With attorneys. Good. Judge Morrison was a woman in her early 60s. Sharp eyes. No patience for nonsense. She reviewed the evidence. Phone logs, emails, screenshots, voicemails. Then she asked me to testify. Ms. Stevens, she said, can you explain the nature of these contacts? I stood. Your Honor, after I canceled my wedding due to infidelity, my family and my former fiancé's family attempted to replace me with my sister. When that didn't work, they began a campaign of harassment. 63 calls in 4 hours, showing up at my home and workplace, threatening my job. I've asked them to stop. They won't. The defense attorney, a man in an expensive suit representing the Bradfords, stood. Your Honor, this is a family dispute. My clients are simply trying to reconcile and salvage relationships. Judge Morrison looked at him over her glasses. Counselor, showing up at someone's workplace after being told to stay away isn't reconciliation, it's harassment. She signed the order. Temporary restraining orders granted for 30 days. All respondents are prohibited from contacting Ms. Stevens directly or indirectly and must maintain 100 yards distance. Violation will result in contempt charges. Case number 2025 TRO 8931. I walked out of the courthouse at 4:45 p.m. My mother was standing across the street, exactly 100 yards away. She didn't wave, didn't call out, she just watched me. Then she got in her car and drove away. For 6 days, I had peace. I went to therapy, signed a lease on a new apartment, $1,850 a month, different neighborhood, fresh start. Move-in date, July 1st. I told 3 close friends the truth, swore them to secrecy. Eleanor was still in Barcelona. 14 Instagram posts, travel blogger aesthetic, gaining followers, now at 92,000. Thursday evening, 8:15 p.m., my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize, but the area code was Charlotte. I answered. Ms. Stevens, this is Thomas Bradford. I'm calling from my office line because I suspect you've blocked my personal number. Mr. Bradford, I want you to know the restraining order, the lawsuit threat we sent, all of it. I take full responsibility. My wife and I were trying to protect our son from embarrassment. We didn't think about you as a person. We thought about you as a problem to solve. That was wrong. I'm withdrawing the lawsuit demand. You won't hear from us again. I was quiet for a moment. Mr. Bradford, I appreciate the call, but you didn't see me as a problem to solve. You saw me as interchangeable. That's worse. You're right. I'm sorry. Truly. Apologies don't undo damage, Mr. Bradford, but they're a start. Goodbye. I hung up. Friday morning, I received an email from Bradford Family Attorneys. Please be advised that the demand letter dated June 3, 2025, is hereby withdrawn. No further action will be taken. We apologize for any distress caused. I saved it. Sunday night, I was packing boxes for my July move when my phone buzzed. Eleanor. 3 weeks of silence. Sam, I'm coming home. We need to talk. I owe you the truth. Eleanor wanted to meet. I said yes, on my terms, public place, common grounds. Coffee on Trade Street, 30-minute limit. She arrived 10 minutes late. Tanned, hair longer. She looked good. We sat at a corner table. Sam, she started, I know sorry doesn't cut it, but I need you to know, I never meant for it to go that far. How far did you mean for it to go? She looked down. It started as flirting, attention. And then it became this thing I couldn't stop. 4 months, Ellie. You had 4 months to stop. You had 4 months to tell me. I know. I was selfish. I was cruel. I thought if I could just be you for a day, I'd finally feel like I was enough. So you tried to marry my fiancé? That was your solution? No, God no. When they suggested I replace you, I went along with it because I was terrified of disappointing everyone. Again. But standing in that bridal suite, wearing your dress, I couldn't do it. I couldn't be you, and I realized I didn't want to be. I set my phone on the table. Timer running. 28 minutes left. Eleanor, I don't forgive you. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I understand something now. You were just as trapped as I was. The difference is, I broke out. You ran away. She nodded, wiped her eyes. Mom and Dad want to see you. They asked me to ask. I told them I wouldn't. You deserve better than being their backup plan, too. She left after 28 minutes. As she walked out, she turned back. For what it's worth, Sam, you were always the strong one. I just wish I'd told you that before I tried to take everything you had. 5 weeks after the wedding that never happened, Patricia called me. Samantha, a letter arrived at my office from James Bradford. He sent it here because it's the only way to contact you without violating the restraining order. What does it say? I haven't read it. Do you want me to forward it or shred it? Forward it. The letter was 8 pages, handwritten, small, tight script. I read it once. Page 3 stuck with me. Samantha, I have no excuse. I was weak, vain, and cruel. Eleanor was a mirror that showed me the version of myself I wanted to be. Exciting, spontaneous, desired. You were the mirror that showed me who I actually was. Steady, boring, predictable. I resented you for that. Not because you were wrong, but because you were right. I destroyed the best thing in my life because I was afraid of being ordinary. I will regret that every day. I filed it in my evidence folder. 3 days later, I moved it to trash. Not because I forgave him, because he didn't matter anymore. My parents tried indirect contact. Aunt Margaret called. I didn't answer. The family pastor called. I blocked the number. Their lawyer called. I forwarded it to Patricia. Then, on July 8th, a certified letter arrived from my parents' estate attorney. Dear Ms. Stevens, please be advised that you have been removed as a beneficiary from the David and Laura Stevens Family Trust, effective immediately. This decision was made due to conduct unbecoming of a family member. Estimated value of removed inheritance, $200,000. I called Patricia. Can they do this? Let me see the trust documents. She called back 2 hours later. Samantha, your grandfather's trust documents clearly state that beneficiary removal requires cause, addiction, criminality, or incapacitation. Embarrassing the family isn't listed. You could contest this. How much would that cost? Litigation, $30,000 to $50,000, could take 2 years. And if I win? You get $200,000 from people who treated you like you were replaceable. No thank you, let them keep it. That's a principled choice, expensive but principled. I'm done paying for their dysfunction with my dignity. July 15th, moving day, 1-bedroom apartment, different neighborhood. No one knew my name. I'd unpacked 3 boxes when my doorbell rang. Eleanor, how did you get this address? Hannah told me. Hannah, mutual friend, ex-mutual friend now. Ellie, you can't be here. Sam, please. I know I don't deserve it, but you're my sister, my twin. We shared a womb. Doesn't that count for something? Ellie, we shared a womb for 9 months. You betrayed me for 4. Biology doesn't trump choice. So that's it? We're done? Forever? I don't know. Maybe. Right now, being around you hurts, and I'm done hurting for other people's comfort. I need my sister back. I looked at her, really looked at her. Your sister needed you, at the rehearsal dinner, at the hotel, when Mom and Dad chose them. You weren't there, so no, Ellie, you don't get to need me now. She left crying. I blocked her number the next morning. That night, I slept for 9 hours straight. For the first time in 8 weeks, I didn't wake up checking my phone for missed calls. 3 months after the wedding that never happened, my life looked different. Therapy twice a week, 22 sessions total, $3,960 spent, worth every penny. Dr. Wright helped me see what I'd been too close to recognize: the scapegoat role, the golden child dynamic, the parentification. You were trained to be useful, not loved, she said once. That's not the same thing. I had 5 job interviews in 3 different cities. Denver, Portland, Austin, all far from Charlotte. Eleanor was dating someone new, a photographer. Instagram official as of August 10th. Still posting travel content. 105,000 followers now. We hadn't spoken in 6 weeks. James was engaged to a woman named Jennifer Walsh. Sales executive. Looked nothing like me or Eleanor. The engagement was announced on Facebook on August 22nd, 8 weeks after our wedding day. Red flags everywhere. My parents sent 0 messages. The restraining order had expired on July 30th. They could contact me if they wanted. They didn't. I got a message request on Instagram from someone I never expected. Catherine Bradford. I let it sit for 3 days. Then I opened it. Samantha, I don't expect you to read this, but I need to say it. You were right. We treated you as interchangeable. We treated you as less, because you were quieter, steadier, less flashy than Eleanor. We mistook your strength for disposability. That is our shame to carry, not yours. You deserved a family who celebrated you, not one that replaced you. I hope you found people who see your worth. I'm deeply sorry we weren't those people. Catherine. I read it twice. I started typing a response. Thank you for the apology. I accept it, but I don't forgive it yet. Maybe someday. I deleted it, left the message on read. Some apologies don't deserve validation. Acknowledgement is enough. People keep asking if I regret calling off the wedding. I don't. I regret wasting 4 years on someone who saw me as a placeholder. I regret believing my family's love was unconditional when it was clearly conditional on my compliance. But I don't regret choosing me. For the first time in 27 years, I chose me. My therapist asked last week, "What would you tell 27-year-old Samantha the night before her wedding?" I said, "Run, not away from them, toward yourself." On September 8th, I got a job offer from Denver. $95,000 salary, $10,000 relocation bonus. Decision deadline, September 20th. My lease ends next July. I can break it with 60-day notice. I haven't decided yet, but I know this. I'd rather be free and scared than loved and replaceable. And maybe that's enough. So here I am, 27 years old, single, starting over. And for the first time in my life, I'm not the backup plan. I'm the plan. I posted this on Reddit because I needed to know. Am I the asshole here? AATA for refusing to forgive my family after they tried to replace me at my own wedding? AITA for getting restraining orders against my parents? AITA for not responding to Catherine's apology? Or am I finally doing what I should have done years ago, choosing my own worth over their comfort? The comments came fast. NTA. 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 A few ESH. Family is family. One YTA for not forgiving your sister sooner. But the comment that stuck was this. NTA. But the real question isn't whether you're the asshole, it's whether you're free. So Reddit, am I free or am I just scared? And is there a difference? I don't know the answer yet, but I know this. I'd rather be free and scared than loved and replaceable, and maybe that's enough.